Ok, vamos a comenzar. Estamos listos. Let's go.
Listo para la lucha.
Sí. Ok, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, I'm Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And today joining me is, of course, the legendary Rayceen Pendarvis. Hello, mother.
Salutations.
Yes. And joining us is the amazing poet, Keith Jarrett. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm really good. This evening, it's evening where I am.
Ah, yes, and it's the middle of the day where we are.
How about that? So Keith, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, and and tell us, how did you come about becoming a writer?
So I am Keith Jarrett. I am here in London, and this is where I grew up as well. And yeah, I write a mixture of things: poetry, fiction. I've written one play as well, and there's no simple answer of just saying how I ended up writing. It was probably because I'm no good at drawing. And it was just the thing that I've always wanted to tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
In a Caribbean family,
Yeah.
and stories and language and playing with language as well. And code switching for me was always something that was a big part of my upbringing. So it just was natural that I would write poetry and stories as well. And I guess the other thing that was a big part of my upbringing was just religion and church, and there's a lot of storytelling and playing with language with that as well. So yeah, so it's no surprise that I ended up writing. I don't think anyone is surprised.
Definitely, and I think my parents would say this because I did creative writing in college, and I'm writing a lot right now, especially during this time. And being Jamaican and being an immigrant living here and being queer as well, there's a lot of things that color my writing, that inspire my writing. And writers like you and others also inspire me, because just to see people being out there and writing the things that they know, the things that make them them, and putting it out there is just so beautiful to me. Tell me, what are the things that currently inspire your writing, whether it's poetry or fiction or whatever? What are the things that currently inspire your writing?
I like to write about what I see around me, but then also I use the tools that I have, which is actually my upbringing. So Caribbean culture, British Caribbean culture, and the kind of tensions with that sometimes. Being queer, being able to, I think one of the things that I used to get really paranoid about was reading a lot of poetry, hoity-toity, as you say, poetry, where you would then get people who would start, dropping in like a Greek god or something in, Greek mythology. And I don't have, that's not my bag. That's not where, I don't readily have access to that kind of high culture, so-called. So what I have done is drawn on what I do know. And I could quote the Bible, like the King James Version. We grew up with kind of Shakespearean language without realizing what we were doing with that. So now I tend to use some of that consciously and subconsciously as well in my work, and I like to play around with that as well, because I think,
and that's important. So I feel like as a artist or a writer, you use your life experiences as a storyteller, and you use that to inspire you in your writings. You're inspired by the trees, the rocks, the rhythm of music, the cultural vibes of your people, the stories of grandma, great-grandma, the stories of your ancestors, sitting and hearing their stories. You weave them in everything you do. It is the essence as a writer of your experience to tell and to share with those. You paint this colorful picture, this amazing portrait. through your work. And that is so important as a reader.
Yeah.
That we feel it and we pick it up and we are invoked in the spirit of your writing. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But what writers, before I turn it back over to Krylios, what writers inspire you?
Oh, that's such an unfair question.
Okay, well, give me three, and I'll say 3 LGBT writers who inspire you.
Okay, I mean, like, so I don't know. I have to say Denise
Living
Smith.
or dead?
I have to say Denise Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to say, oh man, I have to say Baldwin, only because when I first read Go Tell It on the Mountain when I was in my teens, that just that blew my, what that was, something changed in the Matrix or whatever.
Yes, first time I read James Baldwin as well.
So the third one, you'll have to come, because now I'm like, okay, who am I including and not including? That's always a tricky.
But that's the way of the world. I mean, there's so many. You've been inspired by everyone. They have etched something in your spirit that it's hard to just pick a top 3.
Definitely. So tell me, so now that we're in this pandemic period, we're all staying home and all of that, has this new world that we've transitioned into inspired anything? Are you working on anything now that's inspired by what we're going through?
I had to respond to it with, I was given this commission, which I was grateful for, because work is thinning out.
Yes.
And so I did write a couple of poems that were responding to the pandemic, but actually I'm using it as a time to reflect a bit. And also I'm very lucky that I'm one of the judges for a Queer Book Prize. It's a first book award. And so every couple of days, the postman knocks and leaves a parcel of books. And I've got a whole, I had to put them in a crate.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So I've got about 30 books to read, so I'm just, I'm actually grateful for an excuse to be locked inside, because a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and just a lot of work to catch up on. But apart from that, I am going crazy like everyone else.
Yes, I can just imagine. On a whole, because I don't think I've spoken to much people personally across the pond as to what their experience is like during this. What is it like there, being there and everything going on there? Because that's basically where you are in London, is the epicenter of it in the UK. So how is that for you?
I think because London was the UK epicenter, like it happened early on, I'd say. And also because I have a brother who lives in Hong Kong, and so through like lockdown and all of that a month before we did, and I could come in, and I was like enjoying doing the bits of work that I did and knowing that it was probably going to all shut down. And it feels like it all happened early and we adapted quickly, but the rest of the country now is feeling the peak of it. I think, I don't know, it's difficult to tell with funny graphs and things.
Yes.
Like me, like you've been, every day I'm like tuning in, I'm like, what's this little squiggle doing now?
Yes.
But yeah, I feel that London definitely peaked a while ago, but the rest of the country maybe not. So yeah, I'm coping okay. I'm really lucky to have this space, and I'm really grateful for to have somewhere that is rent controlled.
Yeah.
That's important. It's so important to not feel the stress so many people are going through, worried about certain bills, rent, car notes, children. And as a writer, to know that some of the things that other folks are going through, you're not experiencing that, but your level of feeling anxiety is you feel that like everyone else. But we're all walking this journey differently, and we will come back through it, change forever.
Definitely, definitely. Tell me, Keith, what work of yours, give me one singular work of yours that you want to recommend to our viewers that will, give them something for this pandemic while they're home.
Okay, I would say my poetry collection, Sila, is something that is, it's the closest thing to my heart. So yeah, if you're able to get hold of a copy by hook or
plug it. Where can we get it? Plug it.
And then listen, before you plug it, let me ask you this. Would it be putting you on the spot to read something very short from your book?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll just read the first, because I'm like, okay, which one? I'll just read the first poem that's in here.
Thank you.
And it's called Acknowledgements. I think, you just need to know that the London subway system is divided into zones, and zone 6 is way out, and that's where I grew up. Acknowledgements. We who have survived, we who have queered, fagged, and puffed our way through the school system, we the survivors of oppressive institutions and the sticklers and stone hearts that run them, we who have survived, we with glitter-proof ribs that once caved under the shadow of our parents' disapproval, we with pockets made of hand-me-down wounds, we of pursed lips and handbag humor and zones 4, 5, and 6 commutes, we who once knew these streets by their bus shelters, we still know these streets by their old names: Racism Road, Homophobia Grove, Bigot Hill. We who know history's desire to repeat, who know progress is neither linear nor neat. We who do not take for granted, we who have survived the gentrifier's claw, who've seen our media, our companies, our governments parade around rainbow flags and diversity awards at their fashionable convenience. We who have journeyed past this cluster of colonizing avenues, who have learned to sip heavily accented wine, who have washed our tongues in its morning after. We have loved beyond borders as we do not fear the other, though fear is never foreign to us. We who were born on an island and whose parents were born on another island, we have learned to build bridges, and we have learned to cross those bridges even as they burn with the fuel the politicians provided. We who never take for granted, we stand in love and in fury and in power.
Woo!
How powerful.
Snaps, honey. Yes. That was everything I live. Oh my God. Thank you. That was really powerful. Thank you. And I connected with that on a really, really different level. It was almost very personal to me because, I relate to that poem so much, as a queer Caribbean immigrant. So thank you so much for that. And let the viewers know how they can find your work, how they can get all your stuff, how they can follow you, how they can support you. Let have.
So follow me, I guess. Yeah, the usual socials. My name is always at Keith J London, so that's Keith, the letter J, and then London, London. And I'm not sure how you can get hold of my book if you're in the States. If you're this side of the pond, then it's a lot easier. But just send me a message and I'll see what is possible. Otherwise, just get a bootleg version. I don't mind.
No, they're not getting the bootleg version. They're going to pay full price, and they're going to.
Yeah, we need you to continue getting those coins.
They can inbox you and make sure it can go directly through you, and you can send it to them.
Yeah,
I'm just happy as long as people are reading and listening to poetry. That is, that just gives me joy anyway. So yeah.
Thank you. And your work gives us joy. So thank you so much for joining us today, Keith. It was really fabulous. It was really, really wonderful. So glad to have you.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
Oh, it was an
Rayceen?
honor. It was an honor having you, but most of all, it was a joy for everyone taking a moment with us and having this experience. But most of all, thank you, viewers, for watching.
Do me, do me, shoot me, do me, there's a